So connecting the heart chakra to the third eye is something that I think is basically a process of learning non-resistance. It's being able to read energy around you without getting triggered and without judging it. It's releasing judgment. If you use your extrasensory information and try to fit it into a box or into a belief system or into trying to make it work in any sort of reality, like push it into a reality, it actually limits your ability to be able to perceive information. So the more objective you can be about any bit of extrasensory information that you receive, the more you're likely to use it to be able to grow and expand and harmonize with your environment. So in the previous video, I talked about activating the sacral chakra and then the importance of connecting your sacral chakra and your heart. And in this audio, I just want to give you more than just a meditation exercise, but more just a mindfulness exercise about when you tune into energy, how it's important to just allow the energy to be what it is without judgment. Just the same way you look around your environment, and to be able to harmonize with it and make peace with it, you have to drop any judgment about it. You can pay attention to what feels good and what doesn't feel good and then harmonize in that way, but you don't have to make a judgment call about it in terms of ultimately whether it is right or wrong. And this is really crucial when you're connecting your third eye to your heart chakra and using that to create. One of the biggest ways, I think, is when you're trying to consciously create something and you're feeling the way something is, you're tuning into the energy and you're trying to see the potential of that further out. So it's what some people would call accessing like future, quote unquote, future information, which doesn't actually exist because there's no such thing as the future. There's only potentials based on the energy of the now. And you can, in this now, shift to whatever reality you want to shift to. So what you're feeling right now is your point of attraction. And if you ride that out and use your extrasensory information to look further out and see what the potential of where you are now might turn into, that's where you can get wisdom. And it's just basically getting feedback. That's all it's getting. But if we have really strong belief systems and judgments and value judgments on what is and what can and cannot fit in our reality, it can cloud our third eye and cloud our judgment. And you see this a lot with people who are maybe, like I have a few friends that are actually very lucid and psychic, but they come from extremely very defined and strong religious backgrounds. And because of that, they have to filter everything they see through that lens. And if it doesn't fit through that lens, then they just can't at all allow it in their reality. And yet they're psychic and they pick up stuff all the time. And so they're in this like constant inner mind battle about what's right and what's wrong, what fits in their box and what doesn't fit in their box. And I think that's a block. I see that as purely an energetic block to your lucidity and your third eye chakra. So connecting the heart to the third eye is about connecting to a place of oneness, knowing that all things come from one source, one place, and that we're all connected. And there are millions of different realities within that because it depends on what you want to focus on and what perspective you want to have about it. And based on your perspective, you can be looking at the sky and examining the stars and going to outer space, or you can go into the ocean and dive deep. But you're going to get two different realities, but they're all part of the one reality. So that's just an illustration of how consciousness works, how energy works, how dimensions work. Like it is unending, and everything that has ever been thought exists. And if you're hell bent on holding on to the idea that there's only one truth, you are going to have a hard time trying to open your third eye, and that's okay. It's okay if that's what you want to do. A lot of people choose a reality in which there is only one stagnant reality and all other realities are wrong. And that's okay if you want to live that reality, and there's expansion to come from that, and there's growth. But you're going to come up against a conflict if you're also trying to open your third eye. And a lot of people, like I said, right now, a lot of people are interested in that because energy's really speeding up and people are becoming more and more and more aware of subatomic fields and quantum realities and the fact that everything is energy and everything is also transient. And we also know now that really reality is affected by the observer. And so we are, as a human conscious species altogether, asking what is reality, and a lot of people wanting to see more, see beyond what your five senses can see, and that involves opening your third eye. But it's going to be a struggle for you if you are holding on to really, if you're trying to shove the ultimate reality into your reality. It's not gonna fit. So you either have to expand your reality or shut down. And that's why so many people are comfortable being asleep and comfortable not having their third eye activated or really using any other sense of perception, because they're comfortable in their reality, and that's fine. But if you find yourself coming up against a lot of blocks and you're having a hard time accessing extrasensory information, and therefore really creating consciously and using that feedback system, which is our ability to look at energy outside of time space. So again, accessing quote unquote future, which actually doesn't exist. It's just accessing the long energy potential of a particular point of attraction. Then you're going to be very limited. So just think about, as you consciously try to connect your heart to your third eye, connecting your heart to your third eye is about connecting yourself to a space of oneness and knowing that all realities fit. Every single reality fits. If it's a reality, it fits into the reality, because there's only one reality. But within that one reality, there are multiple realities. So if you want to see more, you have to be able to open yourself more, and that will definitely cause triggers to go off of programs, because you've been programmed into a consensus reality. And then everyone has been programmed into many consensus realities with their families and their small unit structures. So connecting your heart to your third eye is connecting to a place of love and moving forward without fear. Also, many people who don't have discernment and just use their third eye perceptions, they can do the same thing and maybe see a vision or see something and think of that as the one reality, the only truth. So many people have accessed extrasensory information and brought it back to the world and said, this is the only reality because I had this vision, I prayed and I had this guide come to me and they showed me this, and this is the only reality. And then a lot of people believe them, because I believe that most people who have those experiences, they're real experiences, but then they have a group follow them and they create their own little mini reality within the multiverse reality, and that's okay, and that's part of this reality. It's part of being creators. But think about what you want your experience to be like and how free you want to be, because the minute you concede to a reality, you are limited by the boundaries of that reality. But you don't have to concede to any reality. So you connecting the third eye and the heart chakra is really about connecting to discernment as well, discerning what's good for you and what you actually want to experience in this life, but also discerning that not any reality is the only reality. So think about that. Consciously try to connect your heart to your third eye and move from a space of oneness, from a space of love, and see what happens. Oh, and most importantly, a space of non-judgment. Okay, ciao.